This is a video for exercise 3. So this is my code, declaring variables, operators, print statement, relational operators, relational operations. So this is relational. Shows each operation. And yeah, so this is my code. So here I'm going to show you the output of the console. A lot of this is just simple. Enter name 100. It's not my age, but I'll just put a random number. And so check console for output. This is the output of each question. So it's like declare two variables, use arithmetic operators. And so what I did here, that compare this to the output. So num1 is 15, num2 is 10. So basically I'm just doing this operation, then I'm assigning the result of this operation to this variable, yeah. And so I'm doing that for each one here. And then I'm just printing it out, concatenating. Well, this is what you use a comment for concatenation in JavaScript instead of addition. I think it's a different process, but it's pretty much the same. You do the same thing in Python, but and then for relational operators, so yeah, it's very self-explanatory. It's just like concatenating, then line break. Then here is where it gets interesting. It's like for like Boolean, they can either be true or false. And so greater than equals num2 greater than num2. So if num1 is greater than num2, then it will assign true to greater than. And because num1 is 15, num2 is 10, this will be greater than or true. And then and so you can see this here. So yeah, num1 is greater than, num1 is less than num2, false because num1 is 15. Num1 is greater than or equal to, it's just greater than, which is true. Num1 is less than or equal to, well, it's just less than. Num1 is equal to num2, well, no, 15 does not equal 10. And then num1 is not equal to, num2 is true. And this is the not equals operator. You can use this in pretty much anything, not just equality, not just the equality operator. And then I'm just printing out all that. And so logical operators, you can assign a true or false. So these are these are both Boolean. So I'm declaring is sunny, and I'm initializing the value of true to it. And then same thing with this weekend. Only I'm initializing false to it. So true and false. So there's two conditions. So in an and, like, basically statement or and operator, it basically takes in two booleans. And so is sunny, because is sunny is true but is weekend is not true, they both have to be true for true to be assigned to true and false. And so because is sunny is true but is weekend is false, it means that true and false is just false. And so is sunny and is weekend are true is false. And so, but with the or operator, only one of these needs to be true for the condition to evaluate to true, and so it's assigned to here. One thing you can do with the or operators and booleans is you can actually create a default value, and so you can have the default value be true, but if the value on the right does not exist or is false, then it will just default to this value. And I've used that in a game before, because you could have like a character creator. You'd have a character creator, and if the player does not select anything, then this will just be null, and so it'll just select the default, like let's say shirt, in the character creator. So console.log, you just print it out, very easy, simple. Assignment operators is simple too. You're just basically adding 10 to score, and then I'm assigning that to score added, and then I'm taking away 10 from score, and then I'm assigning that to score taken. And basically, I'm assigning it to this to show the value after each operation, so I can see exactly what score equaled when this after this operation took place. And so score, you're just timing score by 2. Now score doubled equals score. And so I'm just doing this, printing it out. And for this final thing, this is where it's more complicated than the first things, but all it does is this is an infinite loop. This is a while loop. This condition will always evaluate to true because it's just true. There's no check. There's no way it can't be true, so it'll go infinitely until the player inputs a string. So this allows the user to input a name. If the username variable, so if they input a number and username is a number, then the type of username would not equal string, and so it would prompt to the user this is not valid input, so we go to the console until you get a correct username, and when you do put in a string, it breaks and goes on to this while loop. And then if the user input is not number, which is a number is just integer, then it breaks, goes down here, and then this just outputs hello username, you are user age years old. And so because I inputted Connor, you are 100 years old, and I can reload, enter name like Connor 20. Hello Connor, you are 20 years old. And I put this here. And yeah. And so my approach to solving the exercise was just I don't really know my approach, I just kind of did it, but I just did it like sequentially, like I followed the directions. I was gonna make the code nice, I was gonna put all the variables up top, but I read it and it says to implement the following part step by step, so I used a step-by-step approach by, part 2, I'm assigning variables where you usually shouldn't encode, but just for the purposes of the assignment. And then, yeah. Thank you.